Don't forget to check out the Twitch live stream every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific. Twitch.tv/X underscore UtterChaos underscore X. Now on to your featured video.
Welcome to the Week in Review. I am your host, Ace McTavish. We'll get things started off. This week's My Player sees us off on match day 3 of the Champions League group stage and a trip to Allianz Arena to face Bayern Munich. The German side sits atop of the group, having won their first 2 contests, and they could hold the driver's seat in the group with a win here. Lots of quality and depth on the Bavarian side, and they would have the best opportunity of the game. Kimmich with a blast off the crossbar and nearly off Joe Hart, but a lucky bounce for the Sky Blues keeps it scoreless. David Silva had a chance late to steal all 3 points, but his attempt is wide right, and it ends up 0-0. The points split as the top of the group stays the same. We return to the Etihad to face Norwich City in league play, having pushed ourselves into 8th on the table. It ended up being a matchup of goalkeepers as Joe Hart and John Ruddy were flawless on the day. And Fabian Delph is a bit unlucky, hitting the post, and for the second straight game it ends scoreless. The third match this week, we remain at home. It's an EFL Cup round of 16, and we have drawn Scunthorpe United. Looks to be about an even mix of Premier League and lower league teams left in the competition. And maybe some lower level competition is exactly what we needed to get our offense back on track. Couple of early corner kicks when Leroy Sané dribbles from the touchline towards the top of the 18, and he finds Sergio Aguero open around the penalty spot. No one shuts him down in time, and it's 1-0 5 minutes in. There were a couple missed opportunities to add to the lead, and then some poor defensive clearing / marking late in relegation led to Scunthorpe equalizer. 82nd minute, Scunthorpe on the attack when center back Charlie Good sends the ball right on to the 6, and Joe Hart, the defense, just ball watching, and Kevin Van Veen with a half volley to level it. But Manchester City's superiority would shine through in extra time. Too much pace and quality. And that's a nice pass from Fekir, releasing Nelson, and places it into the far corner. 2-1 midway through the first extra time period. Minutes later, Nelson would add his second. Fekir again with the leading pass. Both Nelson and Iheanacho are there. Kelechi touches a little bit too far, but a nice back heel, and somehow Nelson squeezes it through to the back post again. And that's career goal number 60. Kelechi Iheanacho would add one more in the second extra time period to cap off a 4-1 victory, and it's onward to the semifinals. Finishing off the My Player Week was a trip to Wales to face Swansea City, match day 10 in the league. And we are the best defensive yet worst offensive team at this early point in the season. Peniranda getting the start up top, and he opens the scoring just before halftime. Fernando with a nice over-the-top ball to Sané down the wing, brings it down nicely and finds the charging Venezuelan off the post, and that's his first goal in the league. In the second half, Nelson would earn a penalty in the 65th minute. Peniranda is chosen, and he places it well, but the keeper guesses correctly, and the score stands. That lone goal would be enough for the 3 points. So that is going to wrap up this portion of the My Player series. Now let's see what happened in Career Manager. It's a tough slate of games this week in Career Manager. The presumed easiest of the bunch right at the get-go, at home versus Crystal Palace. A chance for a double over the Eagles. A midweek matchup calls for a bit of squad rotation, and they would pull through, standing firm in the back with a bit of luck as this shot from Connor Wickham hits the crossbar. With time running out, an advantage call just outside the area, and Vivian sticks with the loose ball and somehow delivers the ball to Zlatan, and he gets a toe poke, beating Patricio. A 1-0 victory, 3 points salvaged in stoppage time. Next up, short trip down to the blue half of Liverpool to face Everton. The Toffees 2 points better, and they have a game in hand. Everton prevailed 1-0 back in November. Everton scored the lone goal again in this matchup. Babacar delivers a cross, finding Rodrigo de Paul in between closing defenders. His header beating Price. 1-0 the final. Will Davis struggling offensively, as it's been 13 league matches since his last goal. But there's no time to let up as Bolton host Manchester City for match day 25. The Sky Blues 4 points better and winners in the reverse fixture at 1-0. And City were the better half on this day as well. Baptistao keeps this ball in play. Sané with time to wind up and rip it. Price does his best but can't quite keep it out, and it's 1-0. Definitely some improvement, but we were outshot 13-4. The offense continues to struggle. To make matters worse, Liverpool make the short trip up to Bolton. Match day 26 would look familiar to the 4-0 beatdown the Reds gave us back at the mid-season turn. We continue to hold on to mid-table form as we approach single-digit remaining games. We made things easier this time around. Jarl Riedewald, a step late on the tackle, sees him sent off 9 minutes in. But Sadio Mane misses the penalty, so it remains scoreless. Liverpool takes advantage of that extra man. 18th minute, Mane with a low cross and a diving header by Danny Ings opens up the scoring. Another goal that luckily trickles over the line. Tezan would add a second, minutes into the second half. Look at the passing, and it's Mane picking up his second assist. And what a first touch from Tezan to walk right past Clark. Jordan Henderson would round out the scoring as time wound down, beating Price low at the near post. 3-0 the final today. 7-0 scoreline for the season series. Champions League knockout stages, a trip to Turkey as we drew Trabzonspor, hoping to make to the quarterfinals. The home side would strike early off the corner, a looping header from about 12 yards out, and Jablonski's caught a little bit off balance. It's 1-0 9 minutes in. Midway through the second half, Bolton find themselves down 2-0. The touch pass just squeaks behind the D, and Zingen one-on-one beats Jablonski at the near post. But there would be hope. Minutes later, Lewis is taken down inside the box, earning a penalty that Zlatan would bury to make it 2-1. And Zlatan Ibrahimovic would do it again, keeping pressure on the back line and somehow coming away with the ball and slotting it in the far post to level the score 2-2. Zlatan picking up his 10th and 11th goals of the competition, and we take 2 away goals going into the second leg. Wrapping up this week's episode, it's the EFL Cup final versus Manchester United, a chance to earn some silverware if we can find a way to take down the Red Devils. United with 2 chances early on, but Griezmann and Martial hit the woodwork as Jablonski looking absolutely flustered. Bolton had the opportunity of the second half. Zikrini spins inside and is taken out by Bailly in the box, but De Gea makes the save on Will Davis's spot kick to keep it 0-0. It would go to extra time. Injuries would be the story. Van den Bosch tore his ACL late in the first half, and Mason suffered a knock just before the end of regulation, and that handcuffed my substitutions. United would have the fresher legs. It nearly made it to penalties, but Lacazette all by himself places it to the far post. United lift the trophy 1-0. An absolute heartbreaking end to that match. But that is going to wrap up this week of the Week in Review. I've been your host, Ace McTavish. We'll see you next week.